guys, it's me again. I just wanted to post really quick. Miss Kathy has pointed out that a lot of us have been slacking on posting and, you know, being part of the group, and it's really important, I feel like, that we share our experiences, those of us who've been there or, you know, have a loved one that's been there. For those that don't know my story, my name's Evelyn. I did 5 years at Lowell, 3.5 years in the Youthful Offender Program, and the rest of my time in the work camp working with the horses. I got incarcerated in 2008. I was released in 2013, which means I've been home for 4 years now. And in the past 4 years, I've learned a lot about myself, good and bad. And a lot of the things that I went through in prison, a lot of the negativity has followed me home and had a huge impact on me. I'm sorry, my dog is so rude. She is tearing up her food. I was arrested at the age of 16, so I was 21 when I got out. So I spent a huge gap of my life, what I feel important time of a young woman's life in prison. So a lot of things about the world I've just recently gotten to experience and learn about, and every day is a new experience, every day is a new lesson. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, it's still a lesson. But back to what I said, so some of the negativity has, you know, carried its way into my life here, you know, out in the free world. In that I have a really hard time overanalyzing things, because I did spend, you know, a majority of my life in an environment where you had to overanalyze things. You had to judge everybody and everything, whether it was somebody just simply giving you a ponytail, you know, or, you know, someone wouldn't be your friend or whatever. And you had to wonder, you know, what the ulterior motive was. You had to break it down and tear it apart. I can't speak a lot for what goes on the main compound in the annex, because I wasn't there. Like I said, I was in the Youthful Offender Program, so it was a little bit different for me. It was a lot harder for me. It was a military-based program, but it was ridiculous. I don't think that anyone else on here that I've seen has shared stories about being a youthful offender, so I don't really know what I have to bring to the table. And that, I don't know if many people can relate to that. But I was talking to my best friend, Megan McPhail, the other day, and we were talking about, you know, just simple things like everybody knows everybody's business in prison. You know, even if you don't know someone personally or you've never met them personally, you've heard of them. I use that in reference to when I did finally get to the work camp. People that didn't know me knew me because they had heard about me. They had heard about Lil Bit, and they had heard about her being a YO, and they had heard about this, and they had heard about that. So when I got to the work camp, everybody was like, oh, there goes Lil Bit. I had no idea who these people were. So everybody knows everybody's business, and you learn to keep a lot of things to yourself, and you learn not to show people who you really are. And in so doing, you put up these walls and these guards that you don't realize you're putting up, or you may, but a lot of times you don't. And I carry that with me here. I carry that with me in the fact that it's hard for me to get to know people. It's hard for me to let people get to know me. Even now, the friends that I do have are friends that I've had all my life, or ones like, you know, Megan. I met her on the work camp. We were in the horse program together, and those are my friends. And I have people that I associate with, but I wouldn't consider them my friends. You know, I don't share my life stories with them. I don't share my, you know, my pains or my sorrows with them. That's another reason why I feel like this group is so important, because it gives us an opportunity to feel like, you are so disrespectful. It gives us an opportunity where we don't have to feel so alone. And I know that it's comforting to me to know that I'm not alone, and I'm not the only one that feels this way or goes through these things. So I hope that it helps other people too. But anyways, full circle back to what I was saying. So yeah, I overanalyze things. I don't take anything too deep. Like, everything's face value with me. If I see it, I believe it, and that's it. And you can't talk me out of it. Like, if I think that you're doing something, I'm going to convince myself that that's what you're doing, whether it's good or whether it's bad, because I saw your actions, and your actions to me speak louder than your words. So if you tell me that, this is hypothetically speaking, I'm just using this as an analogy. If you tell me that you love me, okay, great, words sound awesome, but I need you to show me that you love me, because those are things that I need. Actions speak louder to me, because I spent a huge majority of my life where actions were all I had to go by. And can I help you? So rude. Storm. She has issues. So, carrying that into my everyday life now, it causes me problems. It causes me problems where I feel isolated, I feel alone, I feel, I guess you could say almost paranoid that, nothing is going to go good, nothing's going to go right. And I have to remind myself that that's not how the world is, and that's not how everyone is, I guess is what you could say. But prison really messed me up psychologically, I think, more than anything else. Like, go lay down. Go lay down. You're being extra. Psychologically, it messed me up. It messed me up with my PTSD. I have PTSD really bad. And a lot of things trigger that. I've always had anxiety, but of course it's 10 times worse now. And especially with me having children and my own personal, decision to not be dependent on medication. That's just my personal preference. Nothing against anybody who does. I think I would probably be a lot happier if I went back on my meds. But it did. It in so many ways, like just the things that, not just what the guards would put us through in the system of itself, but the inmates as well, because that's the difference between women and men. Like a woman's prison and a man's prison is women conform. We're conformists. That's what we do. We adapt. So it's easier for the men to say, stick together, stand up, do riots, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But women, we don't. We say, okay, well, this is the, hand we've played. Now we're going to put on our poker face and do the best that we can with the hand that we've been dealt. Because that's what women do. We take life as it comes and we adapt. And we conform, and it is, and that's just how it is. So, okay, this sucks, but let's make the most of it. And that can be a good thing, and it can be a bad thing, because I feel like we as women, we lose that when we're stripped of it, when we lose that sense of individuality, independence, that ability to nurture and be nurtured, we lose our identity. And it's really hard to get that back. And even as a mother, I have a hard time accepting and coping with and giving back out the fact that my little boys, they need me every day. So no matter how crappy I feel, no matter how much in my head that I am, no matter how bad I just want to curl up in a ball in my bed, I have to get up because my boys need me. They need me to take care of them. They need me to love them and nurture them and teach them. And it's really hard for me. And I blame it on law. I blame it on prison. I blame it on the fact that they were able to strip us down from everything that we have. And at no point did they try to build us back up. At no point did they say, we're going to take away all the bad. Now we're going to fill you with some good. Go lay down. She keeps trying to creep back up here. They just took it from us. And that was it. And we had to figure it out on our own. We had to figure out, how to become a better person. Had I not gone to the horse program, I would not have made it when I got home. And I know that, and I believe that, because not only the horses, but and the girls in the program, Mr. Evans, all of the people that I was, introduced to, they gave me that sense of self-worth back, and I have to remind myself of that. So when I go to those dark places in my mind, those crevices, those holes, the black abyss, however you want to call it, I have to remind myself that, I got this, I can do this is what I went through and I've overcome it. But here lately, it's really just been hard for me. And Miss Kathy, I'm sorry that I haven't been as involved in the group as I feel like I should be, because I really do want to help, and I want to give as much of myself to the cause as possible, because I do feel for all of the women left behind and that are going through it, and their families, and holidays just ended, and you know, it's really hard for people in there, and it's also really hard for us here. You know, I know myself and Megan, we, you know, we have each other, thank God. I'm so grateful. But a lot of people, you know, they don't have anybody, and even the people that they do have, they shut them out. And it's not that we do it on purpose. It's not that we purposely, you know, shut everybody out, but you get that sense that nobody understands, nobody can get it, and unless you went through it, you really can't. You know, you can read every book and go to every seminar and do whatever you want, but unless you lived it, you can't understand. It's like trying to describe what it's like to have a baby to a man. A man will never know what it's like to give childbirth. It's not. They're never going to know. And it's kind of the same thing with prison. Like, I could talk about it all day long, but I feel like unless you were behind those gates, unless you heard the sound of those walkie-talkies and the keys and, you know, the sound of the boots on the floor, or bunk sliding, or lockers closing, locks clicking, then you don't know. And it's little things that just bring those feelings and those emotions back. And sometimes it just gets too overwhelming. And any little hiccup or speed bump in my life triggers this downward slot of just like utter depression and fear and anxiety and pain. And there's truly no amount of therapy that can heal this emptiness that I get left with. And it's just sad, and I hate to know that there are so many people out there that feel the exact same way. I hate to know that anybody has to feel the way that I feel sometimes, because it sucks. It sucks so bad. But of course, you know, we get through it and we move on, and we overcome, because that's what we do. We're women, we're strong, and we're adaptable, you know, so we move on, and I'm okay. I'm all right. She's worried about me. But, so yeah, just, wanted to post something on here, and I hope that, whoever's watching this, if you needed to know that, you know, you're not alone, if you needed to feel like you were part of something, you know, you are. And everybody in this group, we're all part of something, and we're all have the opportunity to make a difference in the world. Something bigger than ourselves, bigger than our own problems and emotions and setbacks. And we're no different from the rest of the world. We just have a little bit more issues than some people, but we can all get through it together. We just have to stay together, and we have to build each other up, and we have to continue pushing forward and knowing that the juice will totally be worth the squeeze, I feel like, you know. So yeah, thanks for listening. I hope everybody has a nice evening and stays warm, because it's super cold where I'm at. Yeah, so bye.